Hi, I'm Catherine from Gamercast.net, and I'm here with Brice Broaddus from Zombie
correct.
Studios. So, for those unaware, what is Daylight?
Daylight is a psychological horror. Most horror games are about like the gore and the fright and trying to fight off some unnatural looking creature. Daylight's really meant to be psychological. So as you walk through the hallways of Daylight, you'll start hearing noises, you'll start hearing voices, and we wanted to really make it feel like it's those moments when you're at home alone and you hear like this creaking in the ceiling. You're sort of like, what is that? Should I go look and see what that is? But no one ever does, because they're just like, I'm better off not knowing.
Yeah.
If it's a raccoon, fine, but if it's a ghost, I don't want anything to do with that.
What are the ingredients for making a truly scary game?
We want you to feel like you're there. We want to make you feel like this could happen in real life. Like the creaky noises, the sense that like something's watching you, or that moment when you think that you just heard somebody say your name, and you're just like, I know no one's back there, but. And so in Daylight, we've done a lot to, of course it's written by Jessica Chobot, and she actually does the voiceover too. And she's been great about like the audio that she's doing for it, because she says like what she would say if she were scared, and we agreed that would be best, because we want the player to feel like you're going around like a cemetery with your friend, and your friend goes like, what the heck was that? And so all that audio is in there to really sort of like help amp up your sense of anxiety, because when she sees it, when you see it, she sees it. So she's sort of like, what was that? And we found that it really, really gets people kind of like amped up a little bit more.
What was it like making a transition from quite a different game?
Well, I guess I should go back and talk a little bit about the history of Daylight. We were finishing up Blacklight, and we had just been at GDC 2012, and we had seen the technology for Unreal 4. And it was amazing. Like I felt like I had to have that. And so Jared's great. Like he's friends with a lot of people over there at Epic, and he contacted Joe Kreiner. He's just like, we really want to, try this. And so once we got our hands on it, we were playing around, and we found that we could make a game actually extremely quickly, which is of course what it's intended to do. So with about 5 artists and 1 programmer in 3 months, we made sort of the current iteration of Daylight. And we wanted to show it around, and so we took it to PAX and whatnot, and it generated such an intense sort of like vibe, like I love this, there's not anything like this, that now it kind of like grew in proportion. Now it's going to be this much bigger thing, when really it was just going to be like this big.
That must have been quite nice, having it grow to such a large...
No, it was scary actually. Yeah. Not only is the game scary, but the way that it's grown in size is also kind of scary.
So you didn't expect that at all, really?
We didn't.
So the game itself, as you just said, it didn't take that long to make it. Most of the levels are procedurally generated. So how long could a game actually last?
We've been tuning it to try. Initially, it was going to last from anywhere between 20 minutes to 45 minutes. That was what was going to sort of keep the player. It's sort of like a short, limited, sort of like I experienced the game. I can go back and play through it as much as we want. That's why it was procedurally generated. 15 minutes, if you're unlucky and you end up getting killed, or 40 minutes and you finish that episode, and you like getting scared, you just go back and restart it again, and it's something completely different. It wouldn't be the same. But now that we're going to make it bigger, we're going to open up those chapters, and we're hoping for a few more hours of gameplay that still is procedurally generated. So each time that you play it, it'll be different. So if you're a fan of the survival horror, like you're potentially playing like tons of hours on this game.
Do you have any memorable stories from playing through the game yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got one actually very, very good story. So we were doing playtesting, and we have this demo room in Zombie, and it got no windows at all. It's like really, really dark
like
in there.
pitch black.
Yeah, and we set up a night vision camera up above the monitor in there. And we were playing it, and we were kind of recording some people playing, and it was people were scared, but we wanted to get something really, really good. So we went and got one of our interns, and I took him outside and kind of like got him out in the sunlight, got him acclimated to the sun, so he couldn't see anything at all. Jared climbed underneath the desk in the demo room where Daylight was going to be played, and so I brought our intern in. I said, I just want you to play this game. We're going to record it. We're going to get your reactions. And as it was playing, I left the room. as he was playing, Jared just creepily snuck up behind his back and sort of like sat on his shoulder. And you see Jared, if you've seen him, he's got this big giant beard. You have this big pale face with his giant beard just sitting on his shoulder right there. And he probably waited for maybe 3 minutes before he then screamed the intern's name, and he threw the keyboard and mouse, and it was, yeah, I think you can find that video online.
So, okay, of course the game was originally coming out, I guess, mainly just on Windows, and then you made a jump to PlayStation 4 as well.
So since we've signed with Atlas, they want to do that at the same time. In fact, I don't know if you should quote me on this, but I believe that they want the PS4 to be like the lead SKU.
Okay.
So though a lot of the work had been finished for the PC, they want us to hold off on that and release it on PlayStation 4 worldwide. So that's currently our plan.
Oh, what's that? Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Daylight is scheduled for release on PlayStation 4 and Windows for a release during the first quarter of 2014.